The question is, why does the phrase the big bad wolf have a different adjectival order when compared to a phrase like the good little dog, where size follows opinion? To be correct, the phrase the big bad wolf should be the bad big wolf. But that doesn't sound right, does it? How is it that we as English speakers collectively fall into this grammatically incorrect pothole and think that's just the way it's always been said? My name is Donald Kinney, and this is Speaking of Language. To understand the anomaly of the big bad wolf, we'll need to go through a few grammatical points. Bear with me, and I promise you'll come to a sparkling revelation by the end of this video. I'll be talking about adjectives, reduplicates, and something called ablaut reduplication. Adjectives are simply words and phrases that describe nouns. If you use more than one adjective in a sentence, there are two orders: coordinate adjectives and cumulative adjectives. Coordinate adjectives all fall in the same category. For example, I have a black, brown, and white dog. Black, brown, and white all fall in the same category of color, and they can be switched around in the sentence without fear of losing meaning. Cumulative adjectives, on the other hand, come from a variety of categories, and they must be stacked in a specific order to keep that flow of information going between the speaker and the listener. In this example, the sentence, I have two cute little pink pet pigs. The adjectival order is number, opinion, size, color, and purpose. This unspoken order has been ingrained in us since we were very small children, with storybooks like My Naughty Little Sister or Lily's Purple Plastic Purse. If asked, most English speakers couldn't explain this order, and yet we use it all the time. Next, let's talk about reduplicates. Reduplicates are simply words or phrases that are repeated and sometimes modified to create a longer word. There are two types of reduplicates: exact reduplicates and rhyming reduplicates. Examples of exact reduplicates would be bye-bye, hush-hush, so-so, tut-tut. Rhyming reduplicates would be okie-dokie, itsy-bitsy, fancy-schmancy. And these words are not nonsense. We clearly understand the difference between boo-boo and boo-hoo. The last grammatical point that I want to talk about concerns ablaut reduplication. Ablaut refers to a vowel change that occurs in some reduplicates and some of our principal verbs. These ideas were brought forth by the elder of the Brothers Grimm duo, Jacob Grimm, in the late 19th century. The idea is that in some reduplicates, if the first vowel is I, the second vowel will be either A or O. For example, riff-raff, zigzag, tick-tock. If there are three words in the reduplicate, then the same logic holds true. If the first vowel is I, the second vowel will be A, and the third vowel will likely be O or U. For example, ding-dang-dong, bing-bang-bong, clink-clank-clunk. And we have our German language heritage in Old English to thank for this very familiar rhythm in our spoken language, in words like drink, drank, drunk, sing, sang, sung, swim, swam, swum. So how does this explain the anomaly of the big bad wolf? Mark Forsyth, in his book, The Elements of Eloquence, explains this phenomenon. The reason big bad wolf is reversed is that the phrase skips the stacked order rule to follow the ablaut reduplicative IA scheme, where big bad acts like zigzag. Okay, why? When did this happen? Let's remember that the big bad wolf historically sits in relationship to the children's story, The Three Little Pigs. And if you look at earlier versions of the story, you're going to find something very interesting. Looking at Joseph Jacobs' English fairy tales from the 1890s, there's lots of Huffing and Puffing, Not by the Hair of My Chinny Chin Chin, and A Wolf, but no Big Bad Wolf. So, when did this happen? 1933.
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? Big bad wolf, big bad wolf. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?
In 1933, the song Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Wolf was featured in Walt Disney's Silly Symphony's rendition of The Three Little Pigs. The theme song was a Depression-era hit and continues to be one of Disney's most well-known songs. So successful was the animation, the studio spun several sequels. The theme song was repeated in The Big Bad Wolf with Little Red Riding Hood and Little Bad Wolf, the son of Big Bad Wolf. Unsurprisingly, the wolf pup inherited his father's ablaut reduplication, further cementing the adjectival reversal in our collective memories. Like Steve Jobs' Think Different campaign, or the California milk processors' campaign Got Milk, both grammatically questionable, the catchy nature of Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Wolf caught the American attention and changed our language for generations. So, now you know. I was going to say, that's all, folks, but that's a completely different pig.